One, two, three, four. Oh, where can my baby be? The Lord took her away from me. She's gone to heaven, so I've got to be good, so I can see my baby when I leave this world. We were out on a date in my daddy's car. We hadn't driven very far when there in the road, straight ahead, a car was stalled, the engine was dead. Oh, I couldn't stop, so I swerved to the right. I'll never forget the sound that night, the screaming tires, the busting glass, the painful scream that I heard last. Oh, where can my baby be? The Lord took her away from me. She's gone to heaven, so I've got to be good, so I can see my baby when I leave this world. When I woke up, the rain was pouring down. There were people standing all around. But something funny going through my eyes. Somehow I found my baby that night. I held her close, I kissed her our last kiss. I found the love that I knew I would miss. But now she's gone, even though I hold her tight. I lost my love, my life that night. Oh, where can my baby be? The Lord took her away from me. She's gone to heaven, so I've got to be good, so I can see my baby when I leave this world. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Swift Guitar Lessons. Today I'm sharing with you another great acoustic guitar song. This is one that is excellent for beginners and intermediate players alike. This is Last Kiss, and we're doing it in the style of Pearl Jam. Let's get started. Okay, we have a close look at the neck, and we're going to start off learning this very basic chord progression. All we're going to need is G major, E minor, C major, and D major. All right, this is a progression that's commonly referred to as the 50s progression, or a 1-6-4-5. 1, 6, 4, 5. And all those numbers are represented is the notes in the G major scale, because this progression is in the key of G. All right, the notes in the G major scale: G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G. Okay, so the first note of that scale was G. And so musicians may refer to the first chord, G major, as the 1. The next chord we had was E minor, and in that scale, we'll find that is the 6th note, E, G, A, B, C, D, E. So musicians might call that the 6th chord, or minor 6. That's also going to tell our bass player to head over to that note as we make our first chord change. Finally, we have the C major chord, and we'll find that C, G, A, B, C, is in fact our 4th note of the scale. Again, telling our bass player to head on to the 4th scale degree. And then finally, we have D, our 5th scale degree. G, A, B, C, D. Okay, so that 1-6-4-5 business, just a useful way for musicians to call out chord progressions, get the bass player on the same page, and then later it can be used to transpose chord progressions into other keys. All right, now that we have that little bit of music theory out of the way, we can start breaking down these chords. If you already have them down, you can skip this section of the video. So the first chord in the progression, G major. My 3rd finger is here on the 3rd fret of the low E string. My middle finger is here on the 2nd fret of the A string. It's a B note. And my pinky is here on the high E string 3rd fret. So I have G major, strumming from E to E. Next I have an E minor chord. My middle finger stays right where it was, 2nd fret of the A string. But my 3rd finger is going to go just underneath of it. All right, so for my students out there that are just getting started, I call this one the rock on chord, okay? All right, so I have the E minor chord. Next, we have a C major chord, our 4 chord. My third finger goes to the 3rd fret of the A string. It's a C note, my root. My middle finger goes to the 2nd fret of the D string, and E, my 3rd of the chord. And my first finger goes down here on another C note, the 1st fret of the B string. So I have 3rd fret A, 2nd fret D, and my first finger on the 1st fret of the B string. And I'm strumming everything from the A string down. All right, next we have the D major chord. I make a little peace sign here. My first finger goes to the 2nd fret of the G string. My middle finger is here on the 2nd fret of the high E string. And then I'm going to create a little triangle shape. My 3rd finger goes right in between on the 3rd fret of the B string. I strum from the D or the A string down. All right, and that sums up our 1, 6, 4, 5 50s progression in the key of G. Okay, now that you have those simple chord shapes down, we're ready to go over the structure of the song and also the strumming pattern. So it's going to start off with the G major chord, and we're just strumming down, down, up, up, down, up. This is a pattern that I call the pop strumming pattern. It sounds like this. I'll do the same thing on the E minor chord. Same thing on the C chord. And again, just once on the D chord. And if you just do that, that's enough to get this song down. Oh, where can my baby be? The Lord took her away from me. Down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up. G major. Down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up. Okay, you're going to stick with that strumming pattern and chord progression all the way throughout the song, but in between our verses and our choruses, we're going to throw in a little bit of chicka chicka action. It sounds like this. Okay, so all I'm doing there is I'm muting all my strings. I can still hold my G shape a little bit, but I just want to make sure that I'm dead fishing the strings and stopping all the sound. I'm muting all the strings there. All I'm going to do is go down, down, up, down. But when I do my first little down, I don't follow through all the way. I just like to kind of hit my E and my A string. And then launch into the next verse or the next chorus. Okay, a couple of quick little tricks that you can throw in to make this song sound a little bit more professional. This is a great practice. Taking techniques that aren't necessarily in the song, but adding them into your version of it can be a great way to improve your overall playing. All right, so some little variations that we can throw in throughout the song there. Maybe on our G major chord, we can add our first finger here on the B string 1st fret on our first upstroke in the strumming pattern, and then quickly pull off. Another thing that we can do on a C major chord, we can add in a high G note here on the 3rd fret of the E string. And we can also add in that note on our D major chord. And you'll see these notes being added usually on the upstroke, the first upstroke in our strumming pattern. Down, down, up, up, and then usually peeling off just before the end of the measure. So on our G chord, we have a little sus variation here, adding in the 4. That's the 1st fret of our B string. C, the 4th note of our scale. So that sounds good. The E minor chord, you'll see sometimes people will add in like a little pinky here on the 3rd fret for an E minor 7 chord. All right, that's not necessary, but can definitely add to the strumming pattern or the chord progression. You have the C major chord. Put that right there on the high E string 3rd fret. Maybe take it off a little bit, add in pull-offs, hammer-ons, whatever you like. You can also do that with my middle finger. You'll see Eddie Vedder do that a lot in his live performances, especially when he's performing alone. So just experiment. Try lifting fingers on, try lifting fingers off, try adding notes that weren't there before. You don't even necessarily need to know exactly what they're all called in the early going. Okay, then on the D major chord, this is where a lot of variations will shine. You'll see players take their middle finger off, slide the pinky onto the 3rd fret of the high E string to create little melodies. They may even take their 1st finger and hammer on for a wide variety of different variations of your D chord. All right, now one last trick that you can throw into your version of Last Kiss, a little bit of root strum action. Okay, so I'm playing my G major chord to demonstrate, and our original pattern was just down, down, up, up, down, up. But one thing I can do to make it a little bit more interesting, a little bit more professional, is strike the root of the chord and then complete my pattern. So instead of down, down, up, down, up, I'll have root, down, up, down, up, root, down, up, down, up. Being sure that when I strum through, I'm not including the root again in the downstroke or the upstroke. So I just have the root, separating my highs from lows. Root, down, up, down, up. And this is a technique that I can take with me throughout the entire chord progression. So I have the G major chord, E minor chord, C major chord, D major chord. Where, oh, where can my baby be? The Lord took her away from me. Try not to miss him. All right, that's a technique that is awesome for building up your pick accuracy as well. All right, everyone, thanks so much for checking out this lesson on Last Kiss done by Pearl Jam. I hope you enjoyed it. I got plenty more videos coming up, and of course, keep checking back. Please subscribe. I'm Rob at Swift Guitar Lessons in Philadelphia, saying happy picking.